This is Rajiv Basin's morning ritual before going to work at his restaurant in Hong Kong's bustling Tsim Sha Tsui shopping district.
I get up, I do my things, do my prayers every day. I pray to, of course, our Indian gods and then light a little lamp for my parents who are no more. Then get some quick toast, a little bit of fruits, and some overnight soaked nuts. That's it.
Rajiv moved to Hong Kong from New Delhi in 1991 to work as a manager at Gaylord, one of the city's oldest Indian restaurants. 30 years later, he became its owner. Rajiv is among some 42,000 ethnic Indians in Hong Kong. They account for just about 0.5% of the city's population. Although small in numbers, the community's influence has helped to shape Hong Kong's cultural identity through its vibrant and exciting cuisine. Rajiv, Gaylord opened in 1972. What was Hong Kong like, and what was the restaurant like?
Hong Kong was buzzing 1991 when I came to Hong Kong, but as I know of Gaylord when it was opened, and as I've been told, it was under the British rule here, a lot of expatriates, a lot of people from the military and the army, and there were a lot of people from the Indian community working for the British Army. So yeah, that was a general mix, and about 20% local customers coming for the Indian food.
And the Indian community in the 70s and 80s, what businesses were they engaged in Hong Kong? And was there a particular area from India they were from?
The majority of the Indian community which were coming to the restaurant and which was based in Hong Kong was from a place called Sindh in Punjab and a part Pakistan. But they were the Indian community which moved after the partition, and they got based in Hong Kong, and they were mainly in the tailoring business. You will see hundreds of Indian shop, a tailor shop in Tsim Sha Tsui where all the tourists used to come, the famous Sam Taylor. And there was some Indian community in diamond trading. So they were our main Indian community who were our main diners.
So what kind of food were they looking for when they come?
Our majority were, because Indians and a lot of Britishers, and Indian food is like a home food for the Britishers. So it was the whole 9 yards, the samosas, the classic chicken tikkas, the lamb curry, the butter chicken. It was classic food, was very, very popular.
And is it something like this?
Oh yes, this is in our menu since day one. It is the number one dish from Punjab, from the north. It's called sarson ka saag makki ki roti. It's basically a mustard leaf which is pureed and then slow cooked with some garlic and some other herbs and masalas, and it is served with the corn bread which is freshly cooked in the clay oven. In the olden times, the farmers would like to eat this because they will get a lot of power, proteins, iron, so they could long hours in the heat on the field. So this was considered a food for all levels of, from the rich to the poor. Everybody loves it and can afford it.
Since Gaylord first opened, 70% of its offerings have been dishes from northern India, which Rajiv says pretty much reflected the regional makeup of the Indian community in Hong Kong at the time. But after the handover of Hong Kong to China in 1997, Rajiv saw a shift in his clientele, fewer expats and more local Chinese customers. That's when he decided to offer buffets, catering to the taste of local Hong Kongers. His classic dishes now also come with a twist.
This happened in sometime 2014-15, where we saw the changing eating patterns of customer and how the truffle has become so popular. Hong Kong people are crazy. So we invented this dish. We basically stuffed the naan with Indian cheese and then drizzle it with the black truffle, and it's a hit. And then over the years we realized, why don't we create another dish which has now become a very, very popular dish here, especially for the young and millennials. It's called the truffle butter chicken. So we made this chicken, which is barbecue chicken cooked in the onion sauce, again drizzled and draped with black and white truffle pate. It has become an amazing dish. I would like you to try. You please pick up a piece, I think with your hands, you will, and you can just have a bite. I would just fold it and have a bite with my hands.
You can't go wrong with truffle and cheese. Do Indian customers also like the?
Oh, they love it.
That's
The
great.
Indian customers love it because I believe people like change. So they do eat butter chicken sometime, but this has become very popular with the younger generation especially. They feel really connect to the old and the new, which is a good part of this.
Today, just a quick stroll away from Gaylord in Chimsha Choi, you can still see a handful of the Indian restaurants and tailors that Rajiv talked about. But venture further out and you will find other ways the Indian community helped shape Hong Kong. From the Star Ferry, one of Hong Kong's most iconic attractions, to Hong Kong University, one of the city's best, and even some of the city's hospitals were founded by Parsi businessmen. They are descendants of followers of the Zoroastrian religion who fled to India from Persia 1,300 years ago. And because Hong Kong is one of Asia's financial hubs, it attracts expats from all over India. That increased diversity is reflected in the city's Indian food options. Today, I was invited to the gathering of two Indian families at the restaurant Spice Bazaar. One family is from the northern province, Rajasthan, while the other is from Hyderabad in the south. And they're doing something very special. They're serving up dishes from their hometowns that you wouldn't normally be able to find in restaurants. But these ones could potentially make it onto the public menu.
Thank you for joining for the family gathering, Lisa. So I'll quickly introduce you to my family members. So this is my dad, Chef Balram, my mom, and my family.
Chef Baram, how long have you been in Hong Kong?
It's 19 year round.
Wow, 19 years. That's been a while. Did you come to Hong Kong as a chef?
Yes.
So tonight, you're not cooking what you serve people usually in the restaurant. What are we eating tonight?
So this is usually not in the menu of Indian restaurant, I would say. So this is like a very famous Rajasthani dish that we have. So it's dal bati. And another would be this eggplant thingy you will not find anywhere. This is also from Rajasthan. And the biryanis that we made is lamb, so like mutton. Usually you can't get it in anywhere in Hong Kong.
Why wouldn't you usually serve this on the menu?
It's more of like this is very authentic to us, right? So we are not sure if people here in Hong Kong, they will like the taste. What I have observed in Hong Kong people that they like to have curries in like a bit sweeter version, whereas for us it is like very sweet. We can't have it. We need those spices, we need those like Indian masalas within it so that we can get the flavor of it. So this is what, we are trying to bring the authenticity in Hong Kong.
One Rajasthani dish that Roshni says I simply had to try is the dal bati. The dal, which is cooked lentils, is served with some hard wheat rolls called bati. It is also often paired with churma, a powdered sweetened cereal.
So when you go to Rajasthan, you have to try this Rajasthani dish.
If someone is a lot of respect, he will give to you and provide to you the dal bati churma.
How is it?
A lot of textures in this. It's very mild. You really taste the bread, like the crunchiness of
Yes,
it.
yes.
You got the lovely sauce with dal coming in. I feel this is really authentic Indian because like Indian cuisine has a lot of texture play.
That is true.
I think anyone that wants to skip spice or skip certain things in Indian cuisine, you're actually doing yourself a disservice.
That is true.
You're actually doing yourself a disservice. Like, this is so great when you eat it with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Next, I head south to Hyderabad with restaurateur Imran Khalil. Imran, so what dishes do we have here that's from your hometown?
Okay, so very classic one is the halim. Halim is like very popular dish in Hyderabad, which is made only once in a year during the Ramadan time. So this is actually considered to be like extremely nutritious. Consists of 5 different type of lentils, rice, the goat meat, wheat, fried onions, and like about 30 to 40 different spices.
Wow, complicated.
So, yeah, it's just very complicated, but then it's quite rich, quite heavy.
To break the fast.
To break the fast, and mostly it's available during the month of Ramadan.
How do you want to bring the taste of home, to Hong Kong?
I think for me it's very important. Like Hyderabadi food is known only in India, But out of India, people, they don't really know about dishes like halim. The cuisine of Hyderabad, I think, is something like very, very important for me because I come from there. And we have already started a few of the dishes on our menu here. I think people in Hong Kong, they're like more familiar with Indian food is butter chicken and Rogan Josh. But I think for Indian cuisine, it's not only butter chicken and Rogan Josh.
There's so much more.
Many things.
So the Indian community has proven itself successful in making people fall in love with their food. But some Indian chefs have also been inspired by Hong Kong's own food culture. Chef Manav Tuli came to Hong Kong in 2019. It didn't take long before he secured a Michelin star for the restaurant chart with his contemporary take on Indian street food. In 2023, he decided to open his own restaurant, Leela. So coming to Hong Kong, did that inspire you to push the boundaries of Indian cuisine here?
I think so, yes. To some extent, yes. I was very much fascinated with the live, fresh seafood that was there. I've very much believed in the philosophy of Ayurveda that if you're traveling anywhere, you carry the dry spices with you, which is good for your health. But if you're going anywhere, let's say you travel from one country to another, please make use of the local fresh ingredients because they have the natural nutrients from the soil or the water. I should also use ingredients which people love in this part of the world. So what do people love? They love lobster, okay? Tandoori lobster. Someone told me they love beef a lot. Can you do tandoori tomahawk? It turned out fantastic. We did octopus biryani. People love octopus in Hong Kong. Char-siu, tandoori char-siu. So I started pushing it.
So you got your epiphany in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Amazing. Now, with his own restaurant, he continues to create even more Hong Kong-inspired dishes, like these tandoori pork ribs that use local pork, and this char-grilled eel marinated with Indian spices. But Chef Manav also has another mission at heart, which is telling the stories behind Indian dishes to Hong Kongers, particularly the ones inspired by the 13th century Mughal Empire.
I'll tell you a small story also behind biryani that we tell all our guests. Every dish has a story, but some dishes like biryani has old stories. So kudos to the guy who made Taj Mahal. His wife was super nice at heart. And once she was going through the soldiers' barracks and she saw that the soldiers were not happy. So she asked, why are you not happy? Because the kingdom is doing well. Soldiers said that, we don't get enough time to cook for ourselves. So she called the chef and she said, can you make something which is, one pot dish kind of a thing. So the chef came and he fried the meat, fried the onions, fried the rice. He put it all in one pot. He added the aroma, like spices and flavorings. He sealed the pot. He put charcoal at the base, charcoal at the top, and he did this in a very big pot. When they opened it, the aroma that came out, they were like, oh my God, it smells so good. And it had rice, protein, carbs, flavor, and they enjoyed it. And that's how biryani was born.
In Chef Manav's take on biryani, he follows the traditional method of layering rice, meat, and spices. But he also places a huge piece of beef bone marrow inside the rice. And then he seals the pot with a piece of paratha. The result is one of the most complex, flavorful pots of biryani I have ever tried. Whether the dishes are traditional or modern, food never fails to bridge generations and cultures. This is particularly true for people like Rajiv, who has spent decades in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is home, and I think Gaylord is my home. I practically live here. Gaylord, I have 8 to 10,000 people on their names, from Europeans to Brits to local Chinese to the Indian community, some Pakistani community and the Nepalese community. They become a family. So that's what Hong Kong brings me. They take it as their own home and they just come and tap me on my back, and it's a great feeling.